All right, so now let's get into example 1. So example 1, it says, earlier you were given a problem about the potted plants and the soccer uniforms. The students need to create a poster-sized graph to show how much money was raised. How can the students create this graph? Well, they can create a table of values and plot the ordered pairs from the table. So next it's saying we need to write a function to represent the sale of the potted plants. The function that they're giving us is y equals 6.50 times x. And that's because it was $6.50 per plant. Now we need to create a table of values, and so for this problem, they're telling us that we're going to use 50, 100, 150, 200, and 250. So we're going to plug each of these in for x in order to complete our input-output table, or our table of x and y values. So the x values were 50, 100, 150, 200, and 250. All right, now I'm going to take a moment to plug each of these in. I would recommend to pause the video and see if you can do this on your own and get the matching y values. All right, so first I'm going to plug in 50. And because this is just multiplying each of these x's by 6.5, you really don't need to write it all out if you don't want to, but you definitely can. But it's just multiplication. So we have to do 6.50 times 50, and that gives us 325. And now I'm going to plug in 100. And that would give us $650. And now we're going to plug in 150. Which is $975. And then we're going to plug in 200. Which is $1,300. Then we're going to plug in 250. Which is 1,625. All right. So from there, and you can see the rest, and what do you know? Our numbers match up, which is good. And now we want to graph. And so it says then plot the ordered pairs shown on a Cartesian grid. So keep in mind that we're dealing with pretty large numbers here. And I'm going to erase some of this so that way there I have room for my graph on this page. You can't erase, and I would recommend leaving your work on your page. But if you ran out of room on your notebook paper or something like that, I would flip the page over so you can graph this. Now, we're dealing with some pretty large numbers, so we're not going to want to go by ones when we're graphing this, and you can even tell here they did not go by ones. Each of their values for y, which is representing money, it's the money raised from sales, they're going by every big jump is another $500. Okay. And then these ones here, they are going by, well, it's kind of cut off, but I would assume they're going by 50s. Every big jump is another 50. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create this grid. And you might be wondering, well, Mrs. Walker, they don't have like the 4 quadrants with the x and y axis, they only are showing like just the x-axis and then just part of the positive parts of the y-axis. And that's because in this, we're only dealing with positive numbers. It would not make sense for us to have a negative amount of sales, so we only need to show the positive values here. Now my x, and that is, x is referring to the number of plants. So I'm going to label that. And then my x's start at 50 and then go all the way to 250. And so I'm going to go by 50s here. All right. So is mine looking the exact same way so far in comparison to theirs? No, but I'm doing this by hand, and the textbook had a computer to generate their graph. So it's perfectly fine if ours is maybe not as perfect or as precise, but it's still going to do the job. Now, my y value, I see the largest is 1,625. So I want my y-axis to go a little bit above that, so I'm going to have it go until about 2,000. My smallest is 325. So I need to pick a scale for my y-axis that's going to allow me to be able to graph all of these and fit enough tick marks. And so I am going to go by, 200s, I think. We'll see how that takes us. So that would be 200, 400, 500, nope, not 500, going by 200s, so that would be 600. 800, 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, 1,600, and 1,800. So going by 100 or 200 it seemed to work out okay. I was able to make it to 1,800, and my highest is 1,625. So I have a large enough scale. And then I'm going to label this because this is representing the money raised. So I'm just going to use the money sign to represent money. Now I'm going to graph each of these points. So I have the point 50, 325. Well, we can't get super exact, but we can get approximate. Okay, and that's okay. Then I have the point 100, 650. So I know that that's going to be just above that 600 mark. Then I have the point 150, 975. Then I have the point 200, 1,300. So I'm going to go to the 200 mark on the x-axis, then I'm going to go up to about 1,300. And then at 250, I'm at 1,625. And then from there, I'm going to connect them. And there we go. And that would be example 1.